gonna watch?
The whale shark's food.
The whale shark's food.
Next on Jonathon Bird's Blue World, Jonathon goes into the ocean with the world's largest shark.
Oh, there's a whale shark.
Hi, I'm Jonathon Bird,
largest shark.
and welcome to my world.
There's his world with those
Barracudas.
fish.
Sharks.
Yep.
Shark.
Yep.
Crab.
There's a crab.
And a
There's a
cave.
cave.
Gulper shark. Whale shark.
There's a whale shark.
Seal.
There's a seal.
And a manta ray.
Jonathon Bird, Blue World.
Jonathon Birds.
I've journeyed to the warm and shallow waters of tiny Hobash Island in the Gulf of Mexico to find and film the world's largest fish.
Oh yeah.
Hobash is barely more than a sandy speck on the map at the northern end of the Yucatan. It's not your typical tourist destination. Until recently, this sleepy island wasn't much more than a fishing village.
This is a sleepy
There are no
island.
paved roads, and everyone gets around in golf carts or other non-conventional transportation.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
The highway here is a stretch of beach where you can hit maybe 20 miles an hour if you have a fast cart. Downtown, this island has the charm of a place not yet discovered by throngs of tourists.
Wow, we gotta go. Oh, there's
But
whale shark.
everywhere there are signs. Something special has been discovered here.
Ooh, what?
About the world's
Offshore in
largest
the
fish.
cool waters of the Gulf of Mexico, a giant lurks.
Oh.
I get up early to meet the boats to take me and a few other intrepid snorkelers on the adventure
We'll
of
go
a
out and see if we can
lifetime.
find the giant that lurks offshore
Find
that
some
island.
whale sharks.
Whale. Oh.
Instead of catching fish, these
Instead of
former fishermen
catching
are
fish,
now
we're
making their
swimming
living
with the
taking
fish.
tourists to
But only a
swim
big
with the fish.
That'd be
A
fun.
really big fish.
Only a big fish.
Yep.
Using a GPS receiver to help him navigate, the captain takes us about an hour offshore. Our guide, Andreas, watches the water with a carefully trained eye on the horizon.
What's he looking for?
A whale shark.
Ah.
Number.
Soon we pass a pod of dolphins.
Ah.
Well, that's not what we're looking for. We're looking
Nope.
for a whale shark.
It looks like a pod of dolphins.
But we're looking for a whale shark.
They circle the boat a few times to check us out, then vanish.
They're kind of curious about the boat. Now they're
Then we come
Eagle
across a
rays.
group of eagle rays frolicking at the
Eagle
calm
rays.
surface. I've never seen eagle rays doing this before. I'm not even sure what they're up to. But after a few minutes, we have to move on.
We're looking for a
We
whale
put the
shark.
boat
yeah.
back in gear and keep looking. A ripple up ahead catches Andreas's keen eye. As we approach, we find a giant manta ray feeding
A
right at the
manta ray?
surface, mouth wide open.
A
What's he feeding on?
manta ray?
Looks like it.
But
Mantas
That's
can
not what
reach
we're looking
20
for.
feet across,
Wow.
but this is just a small one, only about the size of a car.
the size of a car, that's not what we're looking for.
No,
A whale shark we're looking for.
that's as big as a bus. A whale shark.
Finally, Andreas
Oh, look.
spots what we're looking for.
Oh,
the
oh.
huge head of a whale shark sticking up out of the water.
Oh.
As we
What
pull
is
the
it
boat up
doing?
alongside the shark, I can see its massive mouth open and funneling water in like a gigantic storm drain. The shark is feeding. But what could
What
it
could it
be
be
eating?
feeding?
It's more than 30 feet long. What could feed such an enormous animal?
What's it
To
eating?
find out, I don my snorkel gear and hop over the side.
Okay, let's see what he's eating.
The whale shark passes right in front of me. The water is not very
doesn't look
clear,
clear.
and this is where I get my first clue what is going on here.
It doesn't
The
look
sharks
clear.
have come to this section of the ocean because it's filled with plankton. Whale
Plankton.
sharks might be
Yes,
the biggest fish in the
plankton.
sea, but they eat only plankton and small fish.
Plankton, small fish.
The word plankton comes from a Greek
But
word meaning
no
drifter.
seaweed
So plankton are
and no,
drifting organisms
clear.
like these tiny copepods.
And even no small squid.
Yeah.
The water is filled with copepods, jellyfish, and other drifting animals. They might be small, but these planktonic animals are all food for the mighty whale shark.
Wow. Whale shark's got to eat a bunch of that
Early in the
stuff.
morning, when the water is calm, the plankton forms a thick layer near the surface. He's just surface feeding.
Surface.
What the whale sharks do here is they swim across the surface of the water with their mouths open wide, and all that plankton that's sitting right at the surface gets funneled right into their mouths.
Wow.
Yes.
The enormous mouth swallows up huge quantities of water.
There he goes.
The water comes back out through the shark's gills, but comb-like structures in the gills capture the plankton like an
Those are the
enormous
gills.
spaghetti strainer.
Wow.
So the whale shark swimming through the water is like a big pool skimmer filtering the plankton for breakfast.
Wow. That sounds good.
Each shark eats hundreds of pounds of food every hour.
Would you eat
It
plankton
turns
on
out that
pizza?
eating plankton
No.
is very efficient for a
Remember
large
that.
animal.
I don't eat plankton.
Okay. Good breakfast.
Conditions here around Hobash Island are perfect for plankton in the summer. The plankton makes the water really murky, but all that food attracts huge schools of fish.
Wow.
Look. Fish.
It's a bounty that feeds many kinds of animals.
Small fish.
Manta rays feed on the plankton. But the whale shark is by far the most impressive animal that comes here. Reaching 50 feet long, whale sharks grow as large as a school bus. But they're completely harmless. All they eat are plankton and tiny fish. That is incredible. They are so huge. And there's so much plankton in the water that we can only see maybe 20 feet underwater. So they're bigger than the visibility. You can't even see the tail from the head.
That's a big
I
fish.
can't believe how many sharks are feeding around the boat. There's so much plankton here that it attracts whale sharks for hundreds of miles around.
Wow.
Some of the sharks have escorts, schools of fish that swarm around them for protection. They too eat the plankton, splashing at the surface as they feed alongside the shark. But when I swim over to investigate, they hide under the shark as if it were a huge swimming reef.
Like a huge swimming reef. They hide it under the whale shark.
It's like having a big friend.
Freediving and keeping up with
Only a
these
big
sharks
fish.
is hard work.
Not a small fish.
They don't look like
But
they're
a big
moving that
fish.
fast.
Yeah.
I mean, their
But
tail
a
is
big
just,
fish.
gently swishing back and forth, but they are so big. That tail is so huge that they're actually moving faster than we can keep up with them. You swim as hard as you can for about 30 seconds, and then you're pooped and you give up, and off they go.
It's not a small fish.
No.
It's a big fish.
It's as big as a
Later,
scuba.
as the sun gets higher in the sky and the air gets warmer, the wind picks up and waves start to form.
Yeah. It's going to break up the plankton.
The plankton layer dissipates, and the sharks get harder and harder to find. They're diving deeper, out of sight.
Yep.
Once
They
they
go down
dive
for
below,
now.
we have no way to find them, so we
For
head back
now.
to shore.
They go down.
Yep. But they had a good breakfast.
My trip to Hobash has been a tremendous success and a lot of fun. The economy of this tiny
Whale
island has been
shark,
transformed by this
Tours.
big, harmless, polka-dotted shark. Here in Hobash, people love whale sharks, and they're protected by law. And that's the best part of this story.
Wow. People love their whale sharks down there.
Yes, they do.